In a bustling market, a young woman's cruel act of kicking an elderly beggar to the ground shocks onlookers. Her arrogant words captured on video. "I'm Nardia Abraham, software engineer at Africa's top tech company. Your kids will never know this life." Unbeknownst to her, the woman she humiliated is the mother of Jonathan Akoy, the billionaire CEO of Innovative Hub. By Monday morning, Nardia's world of privilege, six-figure salary, company car, and Lekki apartment crumbles as her shameful actions unravel her career. From pride to disgrace, her journey becomes a gripping tale of redemption, humility, and the power of second chances. Will she rise from her fall, or will her arrogance define her forever? The marketplace came to a standstill. Passers-by halted in their tracks. Vendors grew quiet. An elderly woman lay on the dusty ground, moaning in pain. Her wrapper was soiled with dirt, her headscarf partially undone, exposing her gray hair. Tears filled her eyes, not only from the pain of a kick, but from the sharp sting of public disgrace. Standing over her was a young woman dressed in a sleek black top, torn jeans, and sneakers ill-suited for the market's red sand. Her dark sunglasses mirrored the crowd, but hid their disapproval. With hands on her hips and a voice dripping with arrogance, she hurled words that would soon spread across the internet. "Next time, you beggar, check who you're asking for money. Think we're equals? You're just lazy. That's why you beg," the young woman declared, leaning toward the fallen woman as if addressing a subordinate. "I'm Nardia Abraham, a software engineer at Innovative Hub. Ever heard of it? No, of course not. Your poor kids could never work there." The elderly woman looked up, shocked. "I'm at Africa's top tech company," Nardia added, flipping her braids back with a sneer before striding off into the crowd. Whispers spread among the onlookers. Phones captured the scene. A tall young man hurried to the woman's side, helping her sit up. "Ma, are you all right?" he asked gently, dusting off her shoulder. But Nardia was unconcerned, already heading to the vegetable stall, focused on picking the best peppers and chicken for her coconut rice. Unbeknownst to her, and to everyone in the market, the woman she had kicked was the mother of Jonathan Akoy, the billionaire founder and CEO of Innovative Hub. By Monday morning, her life would be forever altered. 3 months prior, Nardia Abraham had always harbored grand ambitions. Raised in the cramped streets of Ajigun, she grew up in a face-me-face-you apartment where poverty often crushed dreams. But Nardia was different. She had intelligence and determination. When she earned a full scholarship to study computer science at Unilag, her mother cried tears of joy. Her father had passed away when she was 11. Her mother sold oranges by the roadside. Her younger siblings saw her as a hero. She had every reason to stay humble, to remember her roots. But everything changed when she landed a job offer from Innovative Hub. It wasn't just any position. It was a software engineer role at Africa's most prestigious tech firm, complete with a six-figure salary, a company car, a furnished apartment in Lekki, and an access badge to a world most coders only dreamed of. She had made it, and with success came pride, then arrogance, and finally a rejection of her past. She began ignoring her mother's calls unless it was late at night, citing meetings as an excuse. She sent less money home. She swapped buses for boat rides, rice and beans for sushi, and joined an upscale gym in Ikoyi. She cut off her school friend Tope, bluntly saying, "We're not in the same league anymore." She stopped smiling at neighbors or greeting elderly men at the bus stop. Instead, she walked with her head high, designer bag in hand, warning anyone who crossed her, "Watch who you're talking to. I'm with Innovative Hub." It was a Friday. Nardia had just resolved a complex payment gateway issue for a new fintech app. Her team praised her speed and brilliance. Even Jonathan, the elusive CEO she'd never met in person, sent a thumbs up via his assistant. By 5:30 p.m., she grabbed her phone, tossed her ID badge in her bag, and drove out of the Lekki office, Afrobeat music blaring from her car speakers. She craved coconut rice, and Mama Chidinma at the market had the best chicken and peppers. She parked a short distance from the entrance, locked her car, and strutted into the busy market, her jeans clinging to her legs, her shirt knotted at the waist. She stood out from the crowd and relished it. Ignoring greetings and cutting through lines, she felt a gentle tug on her wrist. "Please, my daughter," said a trembling voice from a woman in a worn wrapper and oversized blouse. "Just 100 naira. I haven't eaten since morning." "God bless you." Nardia stopped cold. Her nostrils flared. "Get your hand off me," she snapped, yanking her arm free. But the woman reached out again. "I'm sorry. I didn't mean to upset you. Please help." The crowd started to take notice. Nardia's voice grew louder. "Are you crazy? Touching me? Do I look like your kind?" She lifted her leg and kicked the woman, who fell back onto the dusty ground. The crowd gasped. Some screamed. A voice shouted, "She's old enough to be your mother." But Nardia was unmoved. She stepped closer, leaned down, and delivered the words that would unravel her career. "I'm Nardia Abraham, software engineer at Innovative Hub, Africa's biggest tech company. Your kids will never know this life." With a hiss, she walked away. In the crowd, someone quietly recorded the incident. Another person helped the woman to her feet and guided her to a corner of the market. The next morning, that same woman vanished from the streets, entering a Banana Island mansion where a personal assistant greeted her. "Welcome back, Madame Maraca," the assistant said with a bow. The woman, once kicked in the dirt, now wore a silk gown and diamond earrings. By Monday, she would confront her son and the young woman who disrespected her. At 8:45 a.m. on Monday, the glass doors of Innovative Hub swung open. The receptionist paused mid-sentence as a woman entered. She wore a tailored emerald green lace dress that gleamed under the lights. Her heels clicked softly on the marble floor. Diamond earrings sparkled beneath her braided updo. Her dark skin radiated elegance, power, and quiet dignity, commanding respect. It was the same woman Nardia had kicked. Today, she wasn't cloaked in poverty, but in truth. "Good morning, Ma. You seem familiar," the receptionist stammered, standing up. The woman smiled. "Good morning, dear. I'm here to see Jonathan Akoy. Tell him his mother is here." Her words hit like thunder. Jonathan's mother. The receptionist fumbled for the phone. "Yes, Ma. Right away." On the 17th floor, in the executive suite, Jonathan Akoy was reviewing project timelines when the call came. "Sir," his assistant said hesitantly, "your mother is here. She wants to speak with you privately." Jonathan frowned, surprised. "My mother," he repeated, setting down his iPad. He hadn't anticipated her visit. Madame Maraca rarely came to the office unannounced, preferring her quiet home, garden, and church gatherings. Her last visit was for the company's 5-year anniversary 2 years ago. "Let her in," he said. Moments later, the door opened, and his expression softened from confusion to warmth. "Mama," he smiled, standing up. "John," she replied warmly, entering the office. He hugged her gently, sensing something was wrong. "Is everything all right?" he asked, studying her face. She sat in a guest chair, crossed her legs, and looked at him calmly. "I'm fine, but I need to see one of your employees in person." He blinked. "An employee?" She nodded. "Her name is Nardia Abraham." Jonathan leaned back, puzzled. "Nardia, one of our front-end developers." "Yes," she said softly, hands folded in her lap. Her voice was steady, deliberate, not angry but tinged with disappointment. He pressed a button on his desk. "Get Nardia Abraham to my office. Now." Downstairs, Nardia was flaunting a new hairstyle to her teammates when her phone buzzed. "Incoming call, front desk HR. Hello." "Hi, Nardia. CEO's office now." Nardia grinned as she stood. "See, I told you I'm destined for greatness," she boasted to her colleagues. "Maybe it's a promotion." She adjusted her blouse, checked her ID badge, and walked with the confidence of someone meeting a VIP. She knocked twice, then strode into the office, heels clicking loudly. "Good morning, sir," she said with a bright smile. Then she turned to the older woman beside him. "Good morning, Ma," she said sweetly. But Madame Maraca's smile didn't mirror hers. Jonathan leaned forward. "Nardia, this is my mother. She wanted to see you personally." "Oh, wow," Nardia said, eyes wide. "It's an honor to meet you, Ma." Madame Maraca didn't return the smile. She tilted her head. "I believe we've met before." Nardia laughed nervously. "Oh no, Ma. I don't think so. Perhaps you're mistaking me for someone else." No, Madame Maraca said, her voice calm but her eyes sharp. I know exactly who I saw. Nardia's smile wavered. Madame Maraca reached into her handbag, pulled out a phone, and tapped the screen before showing it to Nardia. A video played. The market, Nardia in her jeans and sunglasses. You think everyone is on your level? You're lazy. That's why you beg. Then the kick. Then the hiss. Then, my name is Nardia Abraham, software engineer at Innovative Hub. Your poor kids will never know this life. Nardia's blood ran cold. Her legs weakened. Her mouth opened, but no words came. She stepped back, hands shaking. No, no, Ma, please. I didn't know it was you. Jonathan's face paled with shock, his mother humiliated, his employee exposed. He clenched his jaw and stood. You kicked my mother, he said slowly, disbelief in his voice. Please, sir. Nardia dropped to her knees, tears streaming down her face. I didn't know. I thought she was just a beggar. Someone beneath you? Madame Maraca said sharply. Nardia sobbed. I'm sorry. I swear I didn't mean to. You meant every word, Madame Maraca interrupted, still composed. You call me lazy. You said my child could never work at your company. You kicked me like I was nothing. She turned to her son. Jonathan, this is the kind of person you employ. Jonathan stared at Nardia, shaking his head. We don't hire only for skills here, Nardia, he said heavily. We hire for character, respect, kindness, integrity. Please, I'll do anything. I'll apologize. Jonathan pressed the intercom. Jane, come in. His secretary entered. Effective immediately, he said, not looking at Nardia. Terminate Nardia Abraham's employment. Revoke all access. Clear her workstation. Nardia screamed. Please, Sir Jonathan. I'm sorry. Please. Madame Maraca stood and walked to the door. She paused. I'm not pressing charges, she said. Not because I can't, but because I want you to learn. You're talented, but your pride is toxic. Let this fall teach you what life tried to tell you. She left without looking back. Nardia collapsed on the cold tile floor, sobbing. Her dream job was gone. Her pride was shattered. Her downfall had begun. The news spread quickly. By noon, the Innovative Hub office was abuzz. Some whispered in shock. Others shook their heads in judgment. A few employees, once belittled by Nardia, nodded quietly, as if justice had been served. Her workstation was cleared. Her ID badge was deactivated. The company car she parked so confidently that morning was repossessed before she could plead for a second chance. As she walked out of the glass building, tears still falling, her legs barely held her up. The Lego sun burned down, but it paled compared to the shame scorching her chest. Just a week ago, she was a star. Now, she was no different from those she once mocked. She couldn't meet the eyes of the gate security as she passed. Madam, a young guard said, scratching his head. What had happened? But she didn't answer. She couldn't. Her voice was gone, her heart too heavy in a ride home. Nardia couldn't afford one. She sat at a bus stop under a faded Coca-Cola umbrella, biting her nails as she checked her account. 6,120 naira? Not enough for half a rent. Her dreams: a new car, a Dubai trip, the iPhone 15 Pro she'd pre-ordered, all gone. But the job loss wasn't the worst part. It was how it happened. She recalled the market, Madame Maraca's eyes, not angry, but disappointed. Worse, she saw Jonathan's heartbreak when he learned she had humiliated his mother. Her heart ached. What have I become? She thought of her mother, still selling oranges by the road, ignored for 3 weeks because Nardia felt too important. She boarded a rickety Danfo bus, clutching her bag, squeezed between passengers. The woman beside her smelled of palm oil and fried plantain. Nardia flinched. Months ago, this was normal. Now, it felt like punishment, but perhaps it was what she needed, a return to reality, to her Surrealire mini flat. The air felt oppressive. Her Innovative Hub offer letter, framed on the wall, and a branded throw pillow on the couch mocked her. She tore them down, sank to the floor, and wept. The hardest part of falling from grace isn't the crash. It's realizing how many you hurt on the way up. In the days that followed, bank calls came first. Her gym membership expired. A rent reminder arrived with a 14-day warning. Nardia applied for jobs desperately, as her life depended on it. She revised her CV, simplified her LinkedIn profile, and sent out over 40 applications in a week. Most went unanswered. The few responses offered unpaid internships or junior roles. At first, she rejected them, thinking they were beneath her, until her account dwindled to 2,800 naira. Then she reconsidered what beneath meant. 3 weeks later, Nardia entered a small tech startup above a Yaba bakery. The office was cramped, 2 rooms and a hallway. The team was young graduates and a tired CTO with dark circles under his eyes. They offered her a chance, a junior software engineer role, no perks, no car, just a desk, a laptop, and 80,000 naira a month, 5 times less than her previous salary. She accepted, saying thank you with humility. One Thursday evening, after debugging a tricky payment feature, Nardia went to buy bread from the bakery downstairs. Someone tapped her shoulder. She turned to see Tope, her old best friend, the one she'd cut off. Nardia froze. Tope's eyes held no hatred, only surprise and quiet sorrow. "Tope," Nardia whispered. "I'm so sorry." Tope raised her brows. "You remember me now?" Nardia nodded. "I never forgot you. I just thought I didn't need anyone." "So you said," Tope replied with a sad smile. "You said we weren't in the same class." Nardia bowed her head. "I was wrong about everything." Tope studied her, then nodded. "You've changed." "I had to." They stood in silence. Then Tope hugged her, breaking Nardia's heart completely. Tears welled up. No words were needed. 2 weeks later, Nardia returned to the market, dressed in a plain t-shirt and slippers, no sunglasses, no pride. She searched the stalls until she found Madame Maraca, sitting in a corner in a simple Ankara dress, surrounded by sellers. She was with her church's outreach team, distributing food to struggling traders. Nardia approached slowly. "Good afternoon, Ma," she said softly. Madame Maraca recognized her instantly. This time, Nardia wore humility, not pride or shame. "I came to say thank you," Nardia whispered. "And I'm sorry again. You didn't deserve what I did." "No one does." The older woman gazed at her, then gave a slight nod. "You've learned," she said quietly. Nardia fought back tears. "I'm trying to do better," she said. "You will," Madame Maraca replied. "If you hold onto this pain, you'll grow from it." She turned back to handing out rice and beans. For Nardia, something shifted. Her downfall began with a kick. Now, she was rising with small acts of humility, and life was watching. 3 months after her fall, the days of tinted windows and elevator views were gone. Nardia climbed stairs in a startup building with flickering electricity and unreliable internet. Yet each line of code she wrote held new meaning. She wasn't coding for applause anymore. She was building a new Nardia. She had changed, not just in her simpler, less flashy clothes, but in how she treated people. She greeted the office cleaner first, helped interns without condescension, and brought food to the security guard who once lent her an umbrella, the same guard she'd once ignored. Her team noticed. "Is that really Nardia?" one whispered at lunch. "She used to be so arrogant." "That Nardia is gone," another said. The new Nardia didn't chase titles. She chased kindness. One rainy Thursday afternoon, as thunder rumbled and water leaked through the roof outside her window, Nardia's Gmail pinged. Subject: application for software engineer role. Her eyes widened. It was from Tech Cradle Solutions, a mid-tier company she'd applied to 2 months ago and forgotten. She opened it, heart racing. "Dear Miss Nardia Abraham, we are pleased to invite you for a second interview next Thursday." Her hands covered her mouth. A second interview? This wasn't just a startup. It was a respected company with global clients and growth potential. The salary wouldn't match her old job, but it was a step up from where she was. Excitement mixed with fear. Was she ready? Had she truly changed? That night, Nardia called someone she hadn't spoken to in months. Her mother. "Mommy," she whispered when her mother answered. "Nardia," her mother gasped. "Is this you?" "Mommy, I'm sorry." "So sorry." Her mother paused, then said softly, "I've already forgiven you." Nardia wiped tears away. "I miss you," she said. "I miss you too. Your siblings ask for you daily." "I want to visit this weekend," Nardia said. "Come." There's always food for you here. That Saturday, Nardia took a public bus to Ajigun. Stepping onto the dusty streets of her childhood, her heart ached and healed. Children ran barefoot over potholes. Women sold fried yam by the roadside. The scent of home, struggle, and resilience welcomed her. Her mother's eyes teared up as she opened the door. She had aged, but her love remained. They hugged tightly, and that evening, sharing jollof rice, Nardia looked at her siblings and said, "Never think you're less than anyone because of where you're from." Thursday came. Nardia stood before her mirror in a modest navy blue gown, a soft smile on her face. No flashy jewelry, just her, a pen, and life's lessons. At Tech Cradle Solutions, the receptionist smiled. "Good morning," she greeted. "Good morning," Nardia replied sincerely. "You're doing great work." The receptionist blinked, surprised. No one said that. In the interview room, 3 panelists waited. One was a familiar face, the young man who helped Madame Maraca in the market. He recognized her, too. Their eyes met. A long silence followed. Then he smiled warmly, as if he knew she'd changed. "Miss Nardia," he said, extending a hand. "Welcome. Let's start." After the interview, Nardia wasn't sure if she'd aced it, but she knew one thing. She'd reclaimed her dignity. She'd apologized to those she'd hurt, returned to her roots, and started giving back. Every Friday, she sent 5,000 naira worth of groceries to a struggling widow near her office, expecting no thanks or photos. She gave because she finally understood kindness is never beneath anyone. 2 weeks later, a package arrived. No sender's name, just a gold-embossed envelope. Inside was an invitation. "Dear Nardia Abraham, you are cordially invited to the 10th anniversary gala of Innovative Hub. Venue, the Grand Hall, Victoria Island. Time, 6 p.m. Friday. Dress code, formal. Entry by invite only." Her hands shook. Innovative Hub. Why invite her? After everything? Then she saw the initials. M.A. Madame Maraca. Nardia sat, heart pounding. Was this forgiveness? A test? She knew one thing. She'd attend, not to boast or prove anything, but to walk in grace and face what came next. Friday evening arrived quickly. Nardia stood before her small mirror, adjusting the sleeves of a simple black gown, hands trembling slightly. No bold makeup, no designer labels, just quiet elegance from within. She wasn't dressing to impress, but with humility. The grand hall glowed like a palace, with gold chandeliers, velvet carpets, and a crowd of dignitaries, tech leaders, and media figures. Nardia stepped out of the cab she could barely afford, clutching the invitation like a lifeline. The guards glanced at her, but let her pass after seeing the card. "Welcome, Miss Nardia Abraham," one said. She nearly laughed at hearing her name in such a place again. Inside, familiar faces, old colleagues, ex-teammates, her former manager laughing with executives, noticed her. Whispers followed. "Isn't that the fired girl? Why is she here?" But Nardia held her head up, not with arrogance, but with quiet strength. The lights dimmed. The host took the stage. "Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Innovative Hub's 10th anniversary gala." Applause erupted. The speech covered memories, projects, and awards. Then the host smiled. "To close tonight's celebration, please welcome the founder and CEO of Innovative Hub, Mr. Jonathan Akoy." The crowd stood clapping. Jonathan entered in a sleek black tuxedo, calm and composed, but Nardia's eyes widened as Madame Maraca walked beside him, radiant in golden lace. She looked at Nardia and smiled. The moment of truth. Jonathan took the podium, thanking partners, honoring mentors, and inspiring young tech minds. Then he paused. "Before I finish," he said, "I want to share a story about pride, kindness, and second chances." The hall went silent. He spoke of a talented young woman who rose quickly but forgot her roots. Her arrogance led to a grave mistake that hurt someone close to him. She lost everything but found herself again. Then he said her name, Nardia Abraham. Gasps spread through the crowd. Nardia froze. "I want to tell you tonight," Jonathan continued, "redemption is possible." Nardia made a mistake, but she didn't stay down. She owned it, learned, and changed. He stepped back and looked at her. Nardia, please come forward. She hesitated, then rose shakily, tears in her eyes, walking down the aisle as all eyes followed. She held her head high, not with pride, but with grace. On stage, Jonathan took her hand. Madame Maraca stepped forward, smiling gently. You hurt me, she said softly, but you returned. You sought forgiveness. You showed growth. That's what makes you stronger. She turned to her son. I think your company needs someone like her. Jonathan nodded. We'd be honored to have you back, Nardia, not just for your skills, but for your character. Silence gripped the room. Then applause began, slow at first, then powerful. The crowd stood. Nardia stood speechless, her chest tight with gratitude. She'd been ousted in shame. Now she was welcomed with honor. But the greatest gift wasn't the job offer. It was the lesson and the chance to start anew with humility and kindness. Nardia didn't take her old job back. She chose to return as a junior mentor for the company's Ethics in Tech initiative, sharing her story with interns and junior engineers. Every Friday, she visited the market, not to shop, but to serve. Life had taught her a profound truth. Titles fade, appearances deceive, but kindness speaks loudest. If you enjoyed this story, please comment, share, and subscribe to our channel for more compelling tales.